Welcome back to the #1 home improvement YouTube channel in the entire world. People love when I say that. Whoops. Just gonna clean this place up. Today we're gonna go over this paint sprayer. This is the Finish Max Super, and this is the Finish Max Extra. I put out a couple videos on these paint sprayers year to 2 years ago, and a lot of people bought them. Thousands and thousands of people bought these. So many people bought them. You've heard of Wagner? Wagner said, hey, they're taking too much of our business. So they went out and bought Finish Max. So Finish Max is now owned by Wagner. I've got several paint jobs coming up, and I've been ignoring cleaning these things. This one here, the Finish Max Extra, has lacquer in it. 100% cured and dried lacquer everywhere. In the bowl here, the cup, inside of it. And this one here, I believe I used the latex paint last, and it was probably white. You can see I've got some gray in here, but it's not too clean. The idea is to clean these things and get them into brand new condition. One thing that I have noticed is, oh, I just saw one on the shelf. I seem to have lost a lot of these filters here. These filters go on the back and keep the overspray from getting sucked in and getting on the fan blades and, you know, messing up the airflow. So the filter fits on both the Super and the Extra, so they didn't change the filter between models. The paint sprayers come with a kit. They come with different jets and needle sizes. I'm not sure what these do. These might just be extras. There's a brand new clean one. And they come with a tool, little tool to remove the needles and the jets. I call them needle and jets because I'm just used to rebuilding carburetors. I don't know what they're called. They're a set. And they come with these little pipe cleaner looking things. None of these are going to do anything unless I've got some solvent. So for the one that's got lacquer cured inside of it, I'm going to let some lacquer thinner sit inside of it. I'll take it apart, put all the parts into the bowl, and just let it soak for a bit. The acetone, it's probably overkill. I could use the lacquer thinner as well for the latex paint, but this stuff here melts epoxy, so it's fast acting. I got another Olight flash sale for you. It's going on right now. I'm 1 day behind, but it's like a week-long event of massive sales on flashlights. Every day there's a new flashlight or a new bundle of flashlights that's 20 to 40. I even think I saw 45% off. This is the one I take with me every single day. This is the S2R Baton 2. This one is in my pocket every single day. Easily clips onto a hat if you need to. This one here has been the one I've been using lately. Got a skunk problem. Holly almost got sprayed the other night, and I've been clearing the backyard before I let her out. The skunk sprayed, but somehow she didn't get it. 2 nights later, the skunk sprayed. I had to close up all the windows in the house. Frontiersman Bear Tack Deterrent. I'm going to take you out to the alley, show you how ridiculous the beam of light that comes out of this flashlight is. This is the Warrior X Turbo. Where they get these names, I don't know, but it is fully turbocharged. You could probably light a piece of paper on fire with this. I'm feeling the heat. Well, it's about 16 inches. I can feel the heat off this dang thing. We're out in the alley. We're going to test the Warrior X Turbo. It's late. It's like midnight. So right down there is the low setting. And that is the high setting. Look at all this stuff floating in the air. Breathing that in all the time. But this goes way, way far. You can see it going up into the sky. I might get the cops called on me. If you are in the market for a flashlight, any type of light, heck, they even sent me a pen that had a little light on it. You can get it in the link below. So I'm going to start with the worst one. This is the lacquer. I did crack this free before I turned the camera on. I was grunting and groaning trying to crack this free. So right in here is the fully cured pool of lacquer. What I'm going to actually do is try to Nope. There we go. Yeah. So there, I popped this loose. It's good. It's kind of like rubbery. Get that going in there. These outside parts are clean. This little spring-loaded doohickey. This is the same on the Finish Max Super as the Finish Max Extra. This is the smallest, finest jet and needle set. This is what you would use if you sprayed lacquer. I haven't had any issues. If you were to spray lacquer or another, highly flammable liquid with this thing in an enclosed environment, you could blow yourself up. Jeez. All right, we're gonna have to. That sucker's glued on there, basically. So their little tool is not working to come out. Get this out. I got my own wrench out here. There we go. One thing I did notice is this anodized finish does come off when you use solvent-based, I don't know, which paints and stuff like that, lacquer. Is that still wet? Or is that fully dried in there? You can see the tip of the needle has some lacquer on there. Your needles just unscrew. I'm not going to use this one today because I'm going to be spraying latex, but I still want to clean it up and get it ready for next time. Now the pickup tube is supposed to just pop right off, but of course it's like glued on there. Get this. There we go. Still quite a bit of lacquer built up in here. Need some more in there. There's also lacquer built up at the bottom of this pickup tube. Now from here, everything looks pretty clean. I know there is a coat of lacquer on the inside from here out to here. What I'll do, once this is all cleaned up and soaked and scrubbed free, or scrubbed clean, I'll use this same lacquer thinner and plug this in and spray it through there to kind of break that up and liquefy it. Okay, while the Finish Max Extra is soaking, I'm going to jump into the Finish Max Super. And like this one I may have just swished some water around. I don't see a lot of paint in here, but you can't have any. The latex paint is easily broke up. You can see how some just got on my finger by wiping inside the rim here. It's got to be fully cleaned, as if it flakes off. If any of this stuff on the pickup tube, where's the light? I need a new light here. Any of this paint on the pickup tube flakes off, gets sucked up in there, it's going to clog up your spray pattern, and it's a pain in the butt to have to constantly clear the needle here to get that blockage clean. So you can see right in there we've got a little bit of gray from the last gray paint that I sprayed through here. We don't want that getting sucked up in here. This, even though this one appears cleaner, it's got more potential problems than the lacquer because of all this latex paint that can clog up the paint gun. Kind of like acetone. Fast acting, like I said. Don't drink it, but get that in there. Start swishing it around. Normally, if you do a normal cleanup job after you're done painting, you won't have this issue. So I was using the green tip on this one. This is probably the mid setting. As far as thickness of paint, so it goes blue, green, and then red. Now I've got to get rid of all this. Oh geez, look at all that. It is just falling off. See all that? That's how fast acting this lacquer is. All this stuff has to come off and get 100% clean, or this will clog up the paint. A lot of people freak out that I don't have like rubber gloves or some sort of hazmat suit on when working with this stuff. Latex and acetone really has zero effect on my hands. You would have to have the most baby soft skin for this to have any like burning sensation or anything like that. Does not affect normal people's hands. In fact, I use this quite often to clean my hands when I get stuff on it. Probably can't do that in California though. I want to keep this acetone because I'm still not done cleaning, but I want to filter all the paint that came off those parts. I picked these things up for a few cents each. I buy them in bulk. They're great to have around the workshop. I'll put a link in the description below. They're almost free if you buy them in bulk. There we go. Still have stuff in here that needs to be filtered out. Take a look at all that. Got my needle still in there. Gotta get that out. Alright, I'm going to take this outside and spray the plants with it. Just going to plug it in. I'm going to run the paint flow up and down. This here is just adjust the needle and how far it goes back. Pull it back real far, sucks up more paint. You adjust it down to the negative, doesn't go back as far, doesn't suck up as much paint. It appears that the Finish Max Super is brand new, as good as new. I sprayed all of that acetone out on my wife's plants around the house. What I observed was a perfectly even spray pattern. I ran it all the way up and all the way down. You can restrict the paint flow to get better atomization. Now, this green tip and needle I'm not going to use for the latex. Maybe I will. I'm going to start with the red. The red is the biggest one, meant for the thickest paint. You're not going to see me paint in this video. That will be the next video, where I have to paint some baseboard and some shoe molding for a basement refresh light remodel that I'm doing. You're going to hit the subscribe button. You got to click that bell. And then you got to go click the thumbs up button. And I'm going to be testing both of these out. Even the Finish Max Extra, the old school one that had all the lacquer in there, I think that one's actually going to be easier to clean than the latex that was in the Super. Tune in for that. It'll be one of the next videos. Hopefully the next video. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Hammer it. All right, well, the last clip, microphone wasn't plugged all the way in. That's just the way it goes. So the first bonus footage is scrapped. We're on to the second bonus. Well, I don't know what to say about that. We're on to the Finish Max Extra, which is the first version of this. And I've got more lacquer thinner in here. But what I wanted to do was test, does lacquer thinner or acetone clean paint better? So as you can see, this is the outside. This is it's probably got white lacquer, white paint, gray paint, and a whole bunch of Sherwood cab acrylic lacquer on the outside. So we're going to start with lacquer thinner and see how easy that cleans this off. If this doesn't interest you, don't worry. We'll come up with something that does in the next video. But for those of you who are just curious about general things that you will run into doing your home improvements, let's see here. I'm going to get up close here. This should just liquefy a lot of this. Looks like it's doing real good on the lacquer. That's that kind of nasty yellowish transparent stuff. But we still have the white on there. And that's whatchamacallit. What the hell is it called? Latex paint, I think. All right, well, we're going to skip to the other side. Other side of the rag. It's going to be the long version here. The unedited version. Acetone. Acetone, make sure we don't have any lacquer on here. Of course, it's starting to spread. Right here. Dry spot. Put you right here in the light. Works just as good on the lacquer, maybe a little bit better on the latex. Either way, both of them are going to eventually get it off. All right. You let it sit there, let it soak in, let those chemicals go to work. Strange that the white paint is what's putting up the largest amount of resistance. I wonder what that paint that was. Might have been that Home Depot. What was that stuff called? What was that stuff called? You guys remember? Talked about it in that video where I used these. It was some sort of enamel, but it wasn't an oil-based enamel. People lost their freaking mind when I started thinning it down with water.
Oh my God! You can't thin oil-based paints with water.
It's water-based. It's a latex enamel. Didn't separate or anything. In fact, it's going strong. I've been to that house many times over the last 2-3 years since I built it. Ugh. We're going to have to get a new rag. I actually just found some of the black paint that I used to paint that cow over there. Few people found the video of that cow just organically through YouTube, and they're like, holy cow, I found your third YouTube channel, Handyman. Now I know what the cow is about. Most of you that are over there sent me a request through Instagram. I know there's a few requests still on the Instagram. I do apologize. There's just a lot of those direct messages that well, some of them are kind of creepy and some are straightforward questions, and I got to set aside some time to go through them. Yeah, I think that's what this white was that that latex enamel. I can't remember, but it had like an 8-hour drive time. I remember that. Did I say 8-hour drive time or dry time? 8-hour dry time. Whew, it's getting hot in here. What's the temperature? Oh man, it's 90 degrees in here. Whew. Maybe I won't get to painting. I might have to do this tonight. Of course, I'm sure my neighbors aren't gonna. Yeah, I'll get it all prepped. Nah, whew. 90 degrees, Jesus. So I can get a nice air conditioning system in here, because my workshop's 90 degrees and I need to get some work done.